beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. We are here today to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 3. Nope, Season 4, Episode 9, Housewarming. Let's get into it. You guys, if you are new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we can get started. But I definitely need you to subscribe if you're new and you like the content. I would definitely appreciate it. All right, let's get to it. All right, so the episode picks up exactly where it left off with Marceau coming out to the car. And y'all, the look she gave him when he was like, she said, get in the car. He's like, oh, it's a long conversation. Yeah. Listen, that was a serious look. And I have to commend Tisha because she never let him see you sweat. Like, she does what she's supposed to do in public. In terms of when she was with her mom, what did she tell her mom? I know everything. Listen, you need to leave us alone. Period. Like, she was on her man's side, but then she still is going to go back to her guy and try to see what's going on. And you can tell she was very bothered when he got in the car, and she's like, listen, she came to me with some picture, and you know, she was like tearing up at that time. So I felt really bad for Tisha. He started talking about how, you know, he really was in Atlanta January 4th or whatever. I'm like, that's just right after the holidays. What you doing where she don't know where you at right after the holidays? But Marceau did a lot of umming. He really did. If you look back at it, he was like, and. Now, do I believe him? I guess, or it ain't up to me. The thing is, like Rock said, nothing has come out about Marceau yet, unless he just got it really, really tied up and he got some girl that is married as well or whatever, which is possible. Like, nothing has come out about Marceau. Not saying that he hasn't done anything. I just hate what's going on with Tisha in her head and like how much this is playing with her. But he tells her that he was there. He was with somebody named Chris Fletcher, and she looked really hurt. But I guess Chris Fletcher is a guy. And, you know, it just gets into a really heated conversation to where he doesn't understand why people are after them. She doesn't understand. She's crying. He ends up crying, which I thought was so sweet. He's upset because she's upset. And yeah, I just kind of hate this for them. I hate that. And it really was Martell and Melody that kicked this whole thing off with them in their marriage. Okay, so while that was a very, very touching scene, it really was. To see Marceau finally let loose, like, I feel like he's probably been wanting to cry forever because, yeah, people have been after him for years now, and he has just been able to dodge the, you know, the bullets or whatever. But it was interesting that when she said, I think that just because Mel and Martell or Martell got caught cheating, they want you to be a cheater. And he said, not that. Not that. He kept cutting her off. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I really feel like if something is going on with him, Martell definitely knows. And Martell knows exactly who, where, what, and why. Like, he does not want to shit on Martell because he does not want Martell to tell anything on him. And he just kept cutting her off with the not that, not that. Now, if I'm wrong, then that's cool as well. With him, you know, just trying to control his girl and reel her back in. Like, listen, we not being messy like that. Don't do that. But I think Martell know a little bit about Marceau. But again, very touching scene. You guys, so then we have a whole segment with Kimmy, Maurice meeting up with Martell to let him know about not being invited. Why? Like, why? You're just not invited. It is what it is. But they're having the conversation. You guys, Martell is definitely cleaning up his image. He definitely is trying to come off way more genuine this year and everything and not problematic. Although they end up showing a montage of him being problematic as Kimmy is telling him, listen, you come with a lot of stuff, basically. Like, it trickles down to anybody around you. And he's kind of like, well, if you're in my space, then you're in my life, and you know, this is going to happen. And she's thinking that's no good. You know, that's not a good enough answer. And she's saying that you know, I can't control you and what you do, but I can control who I have in my environment. She says it like 12 times. And I'm like, we get it. We get it. That's why he's not invited. You don't want him in your space. We get it. It's okay. Yeah, I just think this was so stupid. I do. I really do. Like, okay, and then just get to the shit that you don't like about him. Like, just say, spit it out. So we finally get to the post and his comment under the post. Just spit that shit out. What took you so long? Like, you going through all this. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I think they just did way too much with Kimmy and Maurice this episode. Like, it was just too much Kimmy and Maurice this episode. I do know it's their son's excuse me, it's their son's homecoming, but Kimmy, while she's not my fave, I don't dislike her. She's fine. She's fine. But I'm thinking that Kimmy is she's coming up a little messy this year. I don't know. She's just very involved in everything. And I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. So in the confessional, Martell is just kind of saying, like, listen, she's complaining about my comment under the post, but I actually think it's more so the post than anything. But Marceau and Maurice are brothers, so can't really be mad at them forever. So he's kind of thinking that it's, misplaced anger or whatever, and she's just taking it out on him because she can't take it out on who posted it, Marceau or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I don't care. They ended up ending it, and listen, he gave her a hug because I did notice that they did not hug when he first came in. But on the way out, he hugged her, and it's fine. He does not like the fact that she chose Melody over him, but it kind of is what it is. All right, so next we have Destiny, her son-in-law, and Tiffany at a trampoline place or whatever. And you guys, Tiffany is just so annoying to me. She really is. Like, everything about her face, her voice, everything that she says is so annoying to me. But she's telling Destiny that she felt like Stormy was chill until Destiny came at her. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? This girl kept coming at her constantly, and she kept telling her, ask your friend, ask your friend. And like, what did you see? I don't understand Tiffany, but I think she just be talking. Like, ugh. Anyway, she is talking about maybe they need to have a girl trip. So I think that was kind of her way of inviting Destiny on the trip with her and Melody. And I'm thinking, terrible. That is a terrible idea. But Destiny is like, so you guys are friends now and not just business friends. And she's like, no, I think it's still business friends because we have to do some background searching and like take care of business. And yeah, it just doesn't make any sense that she wants Melody to go. And yeah, but I think that if she was trying to invite Destiny out of town with them, it's just stupid. I just have no interest in Tiffany, her man, her father, her story, or anything. Oh, I do want to mention though, one thing that was said was Destiny made mention of the fact that Stormy wanted to say that she was mocking her, and no, she was not mocking her. She said what she was doing was talking hood to me, and I was talking hood right back to her, letting her know, oh, I can get hood as well. And when they showed it back, that's what she was doing. I mean, she was mocking her because Stormy is real hood. She's like, all right, then. Like, super hood. But yeah, you could just say that, Destiny was letting her know I can get hood back, but the girl sounded a mess. So I'm not mad at her mocking her. I'll allow it. Yeah, we're at Jalen's housewarming party, and it is not party ready. She got like a little bouquet of balloons. She got this dry ass cake and some nacho chips or whatever. Like, it is not ready. But okay, Kimmy. All right, so we have Jalen asking about, who all's invited, and it's interesting that it's all her friends and none of his friends. But okay, so she does let him know that, everybody seems to be okay. And he said, well, and she's like, oh, but it's okay. They're not going to act crazy because they all love you. And he said, well, they all love me at the graduation too. And then we see a flashback of the graduation with Miss Wanda, Martell, Melody, everybody fighting or whatever. And he's in the confessional. He looks cute without his glasses. And he's like, listen, it's crazy that they, when they get together to do something for me, they act a fool, and I am the youngest there. But we go back to them in the house at the housewarming, and they're talking about a restaurant, and I guess they're about to open a restaurant, Kimmy's Kitchen or something like that. And she was saying that she didn't want it, but Maurice wanted it. Again, a whole lot of Maurice and Kimmy, and I just wasn't interested. Okay, so first up is Destiny, and she comes in. She looked really cute in her little leather pants or whatever, and Jalen is like, wow. And I'm like, she ain't thinking about you in real life, Jalen. Calm down. And he just kept staring at her. And then they put the cougar tamer under him. And I'm like, yeah, okay. She's definitely not thinking about little Jalen. But it's interesting because they just sitting all on the arm of his couch. And we just were not allowed to do that growing up. You can't sit on the end and on the edge and on the arm of someone's couch. It's just rude. But I guess if he was doing it, she was like, shit, I'm gonna do it too. So then Kimmy asked her how she's doing. She says she's doing better than before. Kimmy says great because everybody is invited. And again, this is why I am saying Kimmy is coming off like she's trying to be the moderator and everything and the peace, the peacemaker, but I feel like she don't jump in enough to try to make peace when stuff is happening. So I just feel like she's putting herself in the middle of everything. So it was very nice that Martell called. Tiffany and her guy came, and they called Martell, or either Martell called, and he was on speakers giving Jalen, his well wishes or whatever. So I thought that was nice. And Destiny, of course, messing with him like, "Where's your gift? Where's your gift? Where you at?" So then we have, when they hang up with him, we have Tiffany being messy Tiffany again, like just inserting her goddamn self. And she's like, "Oh, last time we saw him, he was doing good." Talking about, "Oh, yeah, going to the A." And I'm like, girl, why can't you just shut up? And Maurice is looking like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then her husband's like, "Yeah, he's talking about taking a guy's trip or whatever." And Kimmy's like, "This is what I'm talking about." Like, he didn't even mention it when we were all together. And I don't care. I'll allow it, Kimmy. He wasn't talking to you anyway. He would have been talking to Maurice, so you don't have to invite him when he's in front of you. You, who had to sit him down and let him know that you don't choose him. You don't want him to be around you, really. So why does he have to open up and tell you anything? But listen, I'm trying to stay neutral, but these people be tripping. All right, so in comes Melody, Stormy, and Stormy's husband. I think his name is Courtney, and um he looking a little hoodish like Stormy. But again, they are business people. I'll say she's a businesswoman or whatever. So I ain't tripping on them, but they look a little hood. He was barely smiling or whatever. And as they're coming in, Tiffany and her guy, Big Goofy, says that they have to go because somebody has soccer or something or whatever. I guess one of the sons. And I'm like, good riddance. We don't want to see you or hear you anyway, Tiffany. Get out. Yeah, so then an already awkward party gets even more awkward when Kimmy looks at Destiny and she's like, "So if I ask you to holler with me, you'll holler with me?" And I'm like, where did this come from? Where hood Kimmy come from? Holla? And she's like, "What if I ask you to holler with me and Stormy?" And she's like, "Sure." So she gets Stormy. You guys, there's no music going. There's no nothing going on in this party except for all these awkward conversations. So she takes Stormy and uh what's her name, Destiny, to the room. She's very happy that they both said yes right away, and we do a sit down to try to see if we can come to some kind of consensus. And yeah, it's not gonna go well. Okay, I don't feel like cutting that out. So not consensus, but some kind of understanding, or try to get them to make up, basically. Okay, so we get them sitting down and they start to talk. Stormy says, "Listen, we were just talking about sponsorship, and then you came at me, and I was just like, what's going on here?" And Destiny's like, "Listen, we're coming at me first." And she was like, "Oh, Stormy said something about her mocking her." And she's like, "I wasn't mocking you. You were speaking hood, and I was speaking hood right back with you." She's like, "Who said it was hood?" "Oh, sweetie, it was hood. Trust me, it was hood." And partly the way you speak, it just is. If she's not code switching, that is how she speaks. And she wants to blame it on an accent or whatever, but I don't know. I really feel like if you know that your accent sounds ignorant and just like uneducated, yes, she's educated, she's a businesswoman, you should probably try to do something to fix that if you can. Like, just try to work on it. And it can be done. So I'm not being rude. It can be done. And she knows that it's not favorable the way she sounds when she's just talking. But so Destiny is telling her, "Listen, sweetie, I just don't come at people or whatever." And she's like, "Don't call me sweetie." And y'all, as much as Stormy is not my favorite person, I'm with her on that. Like, I would get into it with people on the phone. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I would get into it with people on the phone at work all the time when they would try to come at me with the sweeties and the honeys. And I would be like, don't call me that. Don't call me honey. Don't call me sweetie. I'm not your honey and sweetie, because, yes, it's very condescending. Don't talk to me like that. Don't try to play with me. So, as much as y'all know, I feel like Destiny didn't really do anything wrong. In this instance, don't call her sweetie. And I get it. And Destiny's eyes got all big, like, and then she was just like, yeah, we can't do this. We can't do this. And she walks out. Kimmy's trying to talk to Stormy, and Stormy's just like, listen, no, it's condescending when people call me sweetie and all that. And I agree with her on that one. So then we have Kimmy, not Kimmy, Tisha and Marceau coming in. And y'all, uh, Tisha looks cute, but I just don't understand why people wear stuff like that to places where family is gonna be. Like, you are about around your brother-in-law and stuff like why are you wearing with your boobs all out? And this young man, and like, why? Her boobs were just all out. And she told one of them that she was doing a date afterwards or whatever. That's why she was all dressed up. I don't care. Cover up. Like, why are you coming in like that? And I thought it was so funny that Jalen or whatever, he just kept making mention anytime somebody came in with a gift. And I'm like, sweetie, that's what they're supposed to do. Bring a gift. It's a housewarming, okay? So the entire time they're running around talking, Tisha and Marceau, Melody is sitting there eating watermelon or pretending to eat watermelon or whatever. And she's in the confessional like, yeah, I'm not surprised that they're there. And I'm like, you shouldn't, because it's their nephew. And she's like, but them not speaking to me, I don't care. Melody is just not likable. She is just not coming out very likable at all. So once Destiny walks out the door, we see Marceau and Martell, and not Martell, Marceau and Maurice, and they're with Kimmy. Not Kimmy. Shoot, what's her name? Melody. And y'all, Melody was eating for real because she had a mouthful when they was like, "Oh, this isn't awkward. You're not speaking to Tisha. That's not awkward. That's Marceau." And she's like, "Okay, so we're not speaking. No big deal." And then he asked about Martell, and she's like, "Why would y'all ask?" Oh, excuse me. Why would y'all ask about Martell? That's just stupid. That's dumb. And I'm like, she can't think of any other words besides stupid and dumb. Just like, how about just saying, don't ask me about him? Y'all know how we are, or whatever. Don't ask me about him. But she goes to the extreme. Her tights though are really cute. I feel like they have G's on them. Are they Gucci? I don't know, but they're cute. Cute tights. Yeah, so as she's asking, like, why would you be asking me about him? Maurice is like, well, when I talked to Martell, he said you guys were progressing. And she ain't saying nothing. She just picked up a drink and she was irritated and they both laughing. And I'm like, them brothers are some antagonists. I swear to God. Like, they just be messing with people just for the heck of it. So, Melody, if you can see that they not doing nothing but trying to get under your skin, don't give them what they want. Yeah, so watching it again, I caught something I didn't catch the first time. So, the guys decide after they finish messing with Melody or whatever, Tisha comes in the room and Marceau keeps going with the, oh, it's not awkward that Melody isn't speaking to Tisha or whatever, and they still don't say anything. And again, the guys are just messing with him, even though he said in the confessional it's not cool that they're not speaking or whatever. And I'm sure they wish they could just be like, "Oh yeah, we're cool," but it just does not happen like that. So they decide to go play spades, and I'm like, "Great, go do something," because this party sucks. But then they were asking if Destiny left. They said she went out the door. Then we see her come back in and come up the stairs, and you hear someone asking her, "You okay?" And it was Melody. Very nice, right? And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good." Because when Stormy came out of the room with Kimmy, Mel asked how the talk went, and she's like, "Well, it went how it went." And, that was that. But then we get onto the trip and the fact that Marceau hasn't mentioned the trip, and Kimmy is saying Maurice just found out. And my thing is, maybe he just told the big goofball, or maybe he just invited the big goofball first and was going to get around to telling the rest of them. So, can we not make it a huge deal? All right, then we hear Miss Wanda coming in. Hey, hey. and everybody turn around. Y'all, you could just tell that Jalen does not like her at all. And he doesn't even try to pretend like he does at all. Even when they were talking about it beforehand, when they was talking about how everybody act a fool and they were talking about her. And yeah, he was not sure why she was invited. And Kimmy kept saying, oh, but she loves you. And then he gonna look at Maurice like, really? And I'm like, no, sweetie, she does not love you. She is just part of the show. And they need her for part of the turn up for the show. So she comes in and she's like, oh, hey, everybody. And oh, look at the alcohol. She got on her little sequins dress. Maybe she going out too with Tisha afterwards, but she's all dressed up too. So then we see one of Kimmy's friends come in, and Marceau was happy to see her. Jalen was actually happy to see her too. And we get a flashback of her asking something about Tisha and talking to Kimmy. And we find out that, Wanda is like, listen, I'm glad you're here because I got some shit to talk to everybody, including you. Next time you got questions about Tisha, you need to direct them to her and don't be talking crap about my daughter. And she's like, your daughter is more than capable. I don't care how capable she is. Don't talk about my daughter. And I got to be with her on that one. Listen, I have to roll with some people and I ain't never rolled with before. But what Miss Wanda did right here, I wasn't mad at because, listen, don't play with my kid. Y'all, Miss Wanda crazy. Tisha's like, listen, and you don't have to say nothing because she's like, I got a problem with everybody in here who got something to say about my daughter. And Tisha's like, you ain't got a problem with nobody because I don't want nobody having a problem with you. And anybody that I had a problem with, I have already addressed and taken care of, so it's all good. And Miss Wanda saying, ain't nobody gonna have a problem with me because if they do, they could just shake a bone and get the hell on. And I cracked up. And of course, she just kept talking. And Tisha walked away because she can't control her. But at least she attempted to, which is more than she used to do. All right, so wrapping it up, Miss Wanda goes in on everyone and she tells them that her niece let her know that they were all in there talking about her daughter. And don't be talking about her daughter because next time y'all got something to say to her, y'all need to invite her so that she can say. And I'm like, girl, I feel you on all of that. But it's so funny because Marceau was in there playing cards. Tisha comes in there and he's like, listen, your mama's in there calling grown women bitches. And she's like, well, I can't control her. She a grown woman. Well, yeah, but she's not acting like a grown woman. And excuse me. So she's kind of going back and forth with what do you call it? Kimmy, the mom. What's her name? Miss Wanda. Yeah, I don't know why I'm messing up these names so much. But Wanda's going off on Kimmy and going back and forth, and she starts walking away, and she's like, yeah, these bitches can't even buy shoes in a box. And it's so funny. Everybody was just looking confused. And the fact that she was going off, nobody was saying nothing back to her except Kimmy. Everybody was just like letting her get her shit off because this lady's crazy. She talks about the shoes again, and she's like, bitches can't even buy shoes in a box, as she's walking away. Kimmy's like, yeah, we're not going to be a whole lot of bitches. And then, what's his name? The son. Can't remember his name right this second, but he's like, oh, Ms. Wanda, that's what we not going to do. We not going to talk to my mama like that in this house. And I'm like, they gave him the okay to throw people out. And he just want to make sure he can. And of course, he going to start with Miss Wanda because he don't like Miss Wanda, Jalen. He don't like Miss Wanda, you could tell. But she did come in there acting a fool. I am not a fan of Miss Wanda. But I am also not a fan of people messing with your kid, even though her kid is not a kid. I mean, I get it. It's always going to be a kid. But anyway, next week should be interesting. We'll see what happens. And if you are still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you. You guys, I can't do DC. I'm sorry. I can't do Love in Huntsville, DC because it bores me like crazy. Like, I cannot. I don't care about not one person on that show. Not one of them. None of these couples enthuse me. Like, I'm not enthused. I'm not excited. I'm not nothing. And I'm not a huge fan of Monique. So it's a lot of Monique for me. It's too much Monique for me. I'm sorry. But please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.